Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a horror movie review and I'll be having a look at the movie Deep Rising. Now Deep Rising it's a bit of an older movie now and it's essentially a classic monster movie. And the story is here, we have a kind of cruise liner, you know, on the high seas, sailing around as normal, and it's attacked by some kind of unknown creature. And we don't really see what's happening first of all, we just understand there's something, you know, something's attacked this boat. And then basically we have a kind of little time later a group of other characters who are kind of almost like pirates ultimately, and they've hired this boat who is sort of captained by Treat Williams and his kind of crew. And they kind of go onto this boat, not expecting you know, obviously to have all this kind of like, you know, dead bodies all over the place, and ultimately to try and I think they're going to rob it or something. And obviously they just discover that there's pretty much no one left and everyone's sort of disappeared and something's happened. They don't quite know what though. And ultimately they soon discover there's actually this kind of like aquatic sea monster, which is kind of a bit like a kraken ultimately, that sort of has attacked this boat and is still sticking around and ultimately sort of attacking these sort of new bunch of people. And then it sort of becomes just a sort of a survival horror movie ultimately, of the kind of the remaining survivors sort of trying to sort of band together ultimately and trying to escape. So I actually quite like this movie when it sort of first came out. I mean, I'm a bit of a big fan of monster films. The big thing you'll have here is, and I think the main concern here is the actual movie monster is pretty much CGI. And when this film came out, I didn't think the CGI was very good, and that was, you know, however long it was ago. It was, you know, a reasonable amount of time ago. And even back then, when kind of you possibly wouldn't, you know, expect CGI to be all that fantastic, I still thought the CGI was poor. So watching it now, it really does look extremely shoddy and kind of cheap CGI. I'm sure it wasn't cheap back in the day, but it looks like it now. And that's the main thing. It kind of the kind of monster really just looks like a cartoon, which is a bit of a shame. I guess if it was made now, obviously, I suppose it would make that much better. I have to say as well, I don't think Treat Williams as a kind of leading man, it was a particularly good choice. I don't think he has kind of got quite the chops or the sort of charisma to sort of pull off like an action hero. I guess maybe they were trying to sort of cast against type to some degree, but nevertheless, I don't really think he makes a particularly thrilling leading man. I don't mind him as an actor necessarily, but I just don't think he's particularly good in this kind of movie. You've also got Famke, I can never pronounce her name, Famke Jasam, who was obviously Jean Grey in on the X-Men sort of series, and she's obviously pretty much the love interest here. And again, there's some interesting supporting characters as well that sort of pop up. Overall, I actually quite like this movie, despite its shortcomings, and that's going to be my kind of my main two. Yes, it's a little bit cheesy, I guess, and kind of a little bit cliche. But overall, I think what I would say about this film is it has a really great sense of fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and you can kind of go along for the ride. There is some sort of, you know, some interesting sort of set pieces. So it's just kind of a fun movie. It's just pretty fast paced. And I have to say, the ending of this film, I love. It's got one of the best endings of a kind of horror film that kind of just really wants you to make them to make a sequel to see what happens next. Unfortunately, they never did. I'm not going to tell you what the ending is if you haven't seen it, but I would, you know, go check it out and be prepared for what I think is a good ending at least. So I want to give this movie a 6.5. I still quite enjoyed it, regardless of maybe some of the sort of the visual issues that are kind of my main one with it. What did you think of it? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.